don't get it twisted. If you're listening to this right now and you're like, hey man, like it's a passive thing getting into hotels, it's not passive. If you're busy and you're a business owner right now and you're doing good in your business, that is going to be the highest and best use of your time. Getting into the hotel game is not passive. It's very active, it's very hands-on, and you got to put all your attention into it in order to really do good.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show. And as you can see, we're actually playing an away game. We just finished an amazing podcast, and now we're going to have him on our show. He went from being an air traffic controller to a creator of wealth by investing in boutique hotels. He's going to show you how you can do the exact same thing. So no further ado, Rich, how are you?
George, Carter, appreciate you boys coming through and having me on your show, man. Excited for this conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So the first question I have to ask to debunk a myth, is investing in hotels only reserved for rich people?
Not at all. Not at all. I think that's a huge myth, because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of boutique hotels out there that are owned by these retiring mom and pop owners that aren't using any tech. They're not using any AI. They have underperforming hotels. And you can find these hotels on LoopNet. If you're listening to this right now, LoopNet, Crexy Pro, and you could go acquire some of these assets for less than $1 million. And a lot of them come with seller financing opportunity, because a lot of these mom and pop owners bought these assets 20 years ago, 30 years ago. They don't have debt on their properties. And they acquired those hotels 20 years ago, 30 years ago using seller finance. So they're already expecting to exit via seller finance. But also, what makes a good candidate for seller financing opportunity? It's going to be an owner that's retiring. They're not going to be 1031 exchanging their proceeds into another asset, but also they want to reduce their tax burden and they want the cash flow ongoing in retirement. And so if you listen to this, you don't need a lot of money to go buy a boutique hotel. There's plenty of them out there in the country for less than $1 million that you could probably get for $100,000 down, $150,000 down.
So for the benefit of the listeners, can you just break down what exactly is seller financing?
Seller financing is simply when the seller of a boutique hotel, or any real estate for that matter, is going to sell you, the buyer, the property. And then instead of you going to the bank to get a note to buy that property, the seller is just going to be the bank and they're going to finance you the property. The good thing about seller financing is the terms are typically negotiable. So you can negotiate your own down payment, sometimes very low down payment, a low interest rate. We're in a high rate environment right now. You can negotiate a low interest rate. Right now we're buying a deal in Tulum. We're closing on next week that comes with seller financing at 4.5%.
4.5.
If I went to the bank right now to get financing on that, it'd be closer to 6.5, maybe even 7. We get 4.5% interest financing on that. And so it's a great way to get into real estate. Often, you're not going to need a ton of money. The banks are going to underwrite you with a bunch of like different layers. And so if you don't have a ton of money right now, you don't have even like great credit right now, seller financing might be a great way around that.
Okay. That's great to know. So a lot of people, I feel like a few years ago, were all in on Airbnb, right? Even Airbnb arbitrage. But technically, Airbnb is just a short-term rental, right? And so what made you decide to get into boutique hotels over, just leaning into just Airbnbs?
Yeah, so I initially got into real estate and I was buying multifamily and I was buying some short-term rentals. And as the multifamily market started to kind of overheat, I would say in 2021, interest rates was 2.5, 2.75. There was a lot of money chasing multifamily. Cap rates started to get very compressed. We sold one of my deals. It was a 32-unit building in Indianapolis that I had bought in 2019. 1960s product, 20 miles outside of downtown Indianapolis in a suburb called Greenwood, Indiana. 1960s product. Decent neighborhood, but this is 1960s product in the Midwest. And I sold it for a 3.7 cap rate, which is crazy, in 2021. And that's when I thought, damn, this market's getting pretty overheated. We were making offers on larger deals at the time, and a lot of these numbers, the pricing guidances didn't even make sense. And so during all this, I was buying Airbnbs and I was starting to build out a small team to manage my Airbnbs, but also start to manage for third-party owners. And so I had the management company and I had investors to where I was buying multifamily. I said, what if I made a pivot and went and bought a small boutique hotel? I already got the investors. I already have this management arm. We could manage a small boutique hotel the same way we're managing the small Airbnbs. What would that look like? And so that's when I did the first one. It was the Black Sands Inn, 10-unit beachfront hotel up in Northern California, right on the water, area called Shelter Cove. Gorgeous black sand beaches, hiking trails, and bought it from mom and pop owner. They seller financed it. And that asset right there was my first one getting into the game. Bought it from mom and pop owner. They had never exceeded $180K in revenue in 1 year. They owned it for 18 years. This is the only piece of real estate they ever owned. We took the revenue from 180 to 600 through our renovation package, but simply by, in addition to that, throwing all the rooms on different OTAs. They were just using a direct booking
What are
site.
OTAs?
OTA is like basically a third-party booking channel.
Okay.
So think of Expedia, Booking.com, Hotels.com. That's all OTAs. Even Airbnb is considered an OTA. They were only using a direct booking site. No AI, no tech. And so when we got into that property, we closed in August of 22. I didn't even do a renovation until October. But for the first 2 months we owned the asset, all we did was turn on all the OTAs and the revenue doubled. I was like, damn, this is crazy. And so, it's estimated right now that 25% of the hotels in America that are under $10 million of value are owned by these retiring boomers. And most of these boomers are not using any tech. A lot of them are not using AI. The assets are underperforming significantly, and a lot of them are very tired. And so there's a huge opportunity out there, if anyone's listening to this, to get into the hotel game and pick up these hotels from these retiring mom and pop owners.
And that makes a lot of sense because we're seeing the same trend in the business acquisition space, right? A lot of these baby boomers who, are trying to just retire, right? And they don't even have a CRM system. They don't have any of this tech or anything. And so you're saying you're seeing the same thing on the real estate side of the boutique hotel side. So that's interesting. That makes sense.
And I think it's actually better because it's harder for somebody to take over a business and operate if they don't know how to operate. But a rental or hotel, I think it's very easy for somebody to step in and rent out a couple units versus trying to operate a laundromat. They don't know how to operate a laundromat, right? So I think when it comes to the hotel space, what I love about what you just said is that you came in and doubled the income in a few months just off upgrading their systems, not even including renovations and things like that.
And that's just free to implement.
Exactly.
Exactly. You don't have to renovate.
Yeah. So my question to you is, if somebody wanted to get in this space and they want to acquire their first hotel, what are some of the first things outside of just the OTAs that you start to look at to increase the revenue immediately without having to make a large investment?
Yeah, a lot of levers to pull, which I'll get into. But before I do, I just wanted to outline a couple other macro things that are shifting right now. So in addition to all these boomers, and by the way, we got 40 million retired baby boomers between now and the next 7 years. And it's estimated 25% of the hotels out there are owned by these retiring boomers. The hotel's valued under 10 million. In addition to that, we have tightening Airbnb regulations happening across the country right now. We saw what happened in New York City. We saw what happened in San Francisco. We saw what happened in LA. I live here in San Diego. They slashed the Airbnb supply 2 years ago from 17,000 Airbnbs in San Diego to 5,500, okay? This is happening across the country right now. There's 8 million Airbnb listings in the world, and as Airbnb goes away, guess what? People are still gonna travel, and the days of people wanting to travel and go stay at these big branded flagged hotels that our parents and our grandparents once loved, the Hampton Inns, the Ramada Inns, all these big brands, is over. The millennials, the Gen Zers, we call them the modern travelers, they wanna go stay at these vibey, small, boutique, Instagrammable, one-off hotels that they can go on Instagram and share with their friends. And so as we see this trend kind of occurring, we are taking advantage of it, going all in on the boutique hotel game. Now, to answer your question, Carter, about the levers that we can pull, there's so many levers that we can pull. So for one, we can put all the rooms on all the different OTAs. We can also put them on Airbnb and Vrbo, which a lot of hotel operators don't do, in addition to Booking.com, Expedia, all that stuff. We can implement AI. Right now, we're going very ham on the AI game right now. A couple ways we're using AI is we use an AI revenue management platform that does anywhere from 100 to 200 AI pricing adjustments throughout a 24-hour period, similar to how the airlines do it, based on supply and demand. Most of these mom and pop owners that we're buying the hotels from, they have static pricing. They have one pricing for the winter season, and they have another pricing for the summer season, and they might have one price for the weekend, one price for the weekdays, and they're not taking into consideration events that are in town, festivals, concerts, all that sort of stuff. And so using a revenue management platform that has a lot of AI adjustments is big based on supply and demand. The other way we're using AI is this. We went all in on this this year. I tested it at one hotel. What we did, we tested at Hotel Zendel here in San Diego in the Little Italy neighborhood. We implemented an AI concierge. Her name was Brooklyn, and Brooklyn will text the guest via blue iMessage prior to check-in, helping them with check-in instructions. Once they check in, she's helping them with restaurant accommodations, favorite things to go eat at the local restaurants, even helping them with daytime activities, hiking trails, things to go out to do on the water, but also driving 5-star reviews on Google, also bringing in additional revenue in the form of early check-in fees, late checkout fees, pet fees, additional nights booked, etc. And so we tested at one hotel. The feedback was great. Most of the guests that stay at this hotel is 20s, 30s, and 40s demographic. They had no idea they were talking to AI. And so we went all in on it. We implemented it since at every single hotel. And so all of these AI concierges have a different personality and name based on the market. And they text the guest blue iMessage using emojis. They will use staggered response times and even intentional spelling errors. So it feels like a real human being and does not feel like AI. No one has any idea it's AI. In addition, if someone's staying in their room and they need towels or they need their room clean, they will message the AI and the AI will relay it to the housekeepers.
Love that. I mean, you just laid out the blueprint.
Yeah.
And this is more of a curious question because I know that when I was, a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I was a big advocate of Airbnb. I thought it was cool. But then, they're adding on these extra fees. You don't get the turn down service. And so my question to you, obviously with you being in the boutique hotel space, I feel like people default to the bigger brands because they know what they're going to get. How do you position your boutique hotel so people know, like, yes, it's vibey, it's cool, but you're still going to get that world-class experience that you like when you go to the big box
So I'll tell you how
hotels?
we're differentiating ourselves from the competition that the big branded hotels can't do. I made the decision not too long ago to go all in on influencer stays. And so I told the team, I want an influencer every single week at every single hotel indefinitely. We measure it as a weekly KPI and also a monthly KPI. Some of the hotels, we have 2 influencers a week. And so we are literally collaborating with all these travel influencers all over the country to come and stay at our hotels. We'll typically give them 2 nights free. And then with some of the bigger influencers, what we do is we will do a giveaway. And so what the giveaway typically looks like is we'll allow them to give the giveaway to their audience. And so once a month, we'll do 2 nights free stay giveaway. We might throw in some gift cards to some of the local to some of the local restaurants in the area. And then their audience can enter to win the giveaway by going to the CTA. The CTA goes to our landing page, and our landing page we do like a 30-day giveaway. So every one of influencers that's putting this out and promoting our hotel, all their audience goes to our page. We collect their email address, their phone number, and now that's free marketing. And also they have a 15% off if they want to just come on and stay anyways. And so we're doing this with the influencers. In addition to it, they're going to the properties and they're shooting all the content for us and then doing Instagram collabs. And so that's how we're differentiating ourselves from all these big branded hotels.
That confirms something that we're actually working on for our business for 2026. It's just like, because now you're getting all this distribution, right, with all these people that people already know, like, and trust, but you're getting all the data on the back end to still be able to, that's genius.
Yes.
I love that.
And then with the AI, that's plugged into our CRM, Go High Level. And so all these, guest requests that they have, we're now tracking that every single week. And so we know, okay, this request is like freaking coming up a lot. Let's go fix it. Let's go fix it in the hotel. This one's coming up a lot too. Let's go fix this. And so it's allowing us to have real-time feedback as well.
Yeah, I have a friend in a similar space, and he just preached, the millionaires say you need 7 streams of income to become a millionaire, which we know is not true. You can get 7 streams of income from one business, right? So my question to you is, what are some other ways, because I'm thinking about something right now, that you can make money in the hotel business? Because like you said, you're giving them recommendations to nearby restaurants. Can you set up an affiliate with the restaurant to give you a kickback on, sending people there? Like, what are some other ways outside of just making money from the stays that you see that you can make money in the hotel space so that you're not solely reliant on the revenue, the rental revenue? Or are there any ways?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can do it. So one of them is what you mentioned, right? So some sort of kickback for the local restaurants, some of the local activities. So let's just say there's a company here in San Diego that rents out beach cruiser bikes or surfboards, paddleboards. We could go partner with some of those folks. But one thing that we do, like at one of our hotels, Surf Break in San Clemente, is we actually like buy the surfboards and the paddleboards and like the beach cruiser bikes, and we add that on as like a additional rental for the guests if they want it. Another thing that's really big right now is a lot of hotels, depending on market, are charging a resort fee or an amenity fee. Okay, it's typically going to be anywhere from $15 to sometimes even up to $30 per night per room. Okay. And so depending on the market that you get into the hotel with, if the seller wasn't implementing that, you can go ahead and implement that. And that's easy, low-hanging fruit.
I just paid it yesterday. It was $45 a night.
Yeah, some people are expecting to pay it, right, already. A lot of hotels are already doing that.
But you do say no?
And
Right.
so, if you think, okay, well, what if the hotel I'm buying doesn't have any amenities? Okay, well, go put in a fire pit, go put in a jacuzzi, go add some, grab and go breakfast that the housekeepers can go pick up on their way in at the local donut shop or the local bakery, and you can offer coffee, OJ, and some like grab and go packaged breakfast. And now you can go implement that $25 a night amenity fee. And let's just say that you got a 40-room hotel times $25 and times 365 days. And let's just say that you're going to average year-round a 65% occupancy, which I think is pretty conservative. That's an extra $237,000 in revenue. And let's just say, only 75% of that's going to drop to the bottom line because you got to leverage, some costs in there. But that's $177,000 that drops to your net operating income, your NOI, and at an 8% cap rate, which is the average cap rate for all hotels in America, you're adding $2.2 million of asset valuation and theoretically forcing $2.2 million in appreciation. Yeah.
There you have it, folks.
Yeah. Let me give you one more good lever.
Yeah.
A lot of these boutique hotels out there in the country, especially the smaller ones, will have what's called an innkeeper suite for the manager or in-suite manager, right? So it's a manager's unit, and typically the innkeeper or the manager will live on site. That's how they did it in the old days. But if you have a 10-room hotel or a 12-room hotel, you don't need an innkeeper. It's living on site. So that first 10-room hotel, the Black Sands Inn that we acquired in 2022, they had an innkeeper not just staying in one of the 10 rooms, but in 2 of the 10 rooms. They convinced, it was a husband and wife manager, they convinced the owner, the mom and pop owner, to combine 2 of the 10 rooms and put a hallway in between. And so now they had this really nice 2-bedroom suite overlooking the ocean for them to live in. And I was like, we're not going to run that playbook. So when we took over the hotel, we renovated those 2 units. We put them online for additional revenue. The manager's salary, we didn't need that. We eliminated the manager's salary. We now run a self-check-in, self-checkout model with the guests. It's a 10-room hotel. We use a lot of technology. We have a team of VAs. And so the guests just have a door code. They can just self-check-in, self-checkout. And by the way, guests for these small hotels in these rural areas like that, they don't want to go shake someone's hand to get their key. They just want to go in and get out. And so now the 2 units we brought online bring in additional revenue. And then the $60K the managers were paying themselves now drops to the bottom line. And now we're forcing all that appreciation into the value of the property, but also the extra cash flow now drops to the bottom line as well.
Genius,
bro.
Genius.
And you can run the same playbook with a lot of hotels out there in the country if you just target these mom and pop owners. Most of the hotels that we bought, with the exception of, let me think here. So we're about to close on a 6th hotel. And I would say 3 of these 6 hotels have an innkeeper suite or manager's suite. Often these suites are like the largest room on the property. Sometimes full living rooms, sometimes full kitchens, sometimes even 2 bedrooms. And so you bring those online and they can bring in some good revenue.
Yeah. So you, in a matter of minutes, given our listeners a masterclass in this, right? And so my question is, like, do you show people how to do this? I know you have a fund, like kind of break down like how you're expanding this ecosystem so people can get into this short-term rental.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 ways. So we have a real estate fund with Summers Capital. We're acquiring our 6th boutique hotel in this fund. Total, I'm going to put 10 boutique hotels into this fund and close it. And so we have individual investors. We give them passive income, tax benefits. They're diversified across all the potential eventual 10 hotels. They get to go stay at these assets whenever they want, see how their money's working for them. Unlike investing in multifamily, self-storage, and these other asset classes, investing with boutique hotels, you can actually go stay at these properties and see how your money's working for you. The other thing I have is a boutique hotel investing community for the active investors. If you're listening to this and you're like investing in Airbnbs right now and you're like, damn, this sounds pretty cool. I want to learn how to buy a boutique hotel. Hotelinvesting.com is the name of our community.
Oh, how'd you rate that?
Yeah, we bought that domain. We got a good deal on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was sitting there for sale, and it was only like $3,500.
Oh,
steal. And then we negotiated it down even further. And this is a tip for anyone listening to this: if you go buy a domain and it's listed, always negotiate with the broker because you can knock it down some as well. But anyway, so we got hotelinvesting.com. We have about 130 members, and between our members, about 54 hotels owned today, 4 hotels under contract in the community, partnership opportunities. We teach how to underwrite, how to source the deals, how to raise private capital, how to source lending, how to operate, basically the A to Z. And that's hotelinvesting.com.
Got it. So like, for example, we have obviously clients that are always interested in investing in real estate. They said, we want to buy a hotel together. They could essentially learn from your community. They could go in and invest, buy a hotel together, run the asset. Okay, that's super cool.
So you mentioned all the ways to make money with in the hotel space. What are some of the tax benefits associated with owning a hotel? Because you get depreciation, things like that. Can you just inform our listeners about the tax benefits of investing in hotels?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll address this two ways. So if you invest as a passive income or a passive investor or a limited partner into a hotel project or a real estate fund like we have here at Summers Capital, you're going to get pass-through depreciation. Now, that depreciation can only be used to offset the passive income that investment spits off and other passive income that you might have, not active income. As far as I understand it, always verify with your CPA or verify with these guys, right?
That's verified. There you
Yes.
go.
Okay. And then the other way would be doing it actively. Okay. So if you're, high income earning W-2 employee and you got a big, tax bill at the end of every single year, you can invest into a boutique hotel, similar like the STR loophole. And as long as you spend, how many hours do you need? And 100 hours a year within the business actively, you can now get a cost segregation study on that hotel and use the depreciation to offset not only the income that the hotel spits off, but also use the depreciation to offset any active income you might have at your high income earning W-2 job.
Love that.
And always verify that with the
Yeah,
CPA.
no, I mean, I asked you for a reason. I was right here to verify you. You spoke it
Yep.
perfectly eloquently. It is the short-term rental loophole on steroids. What I love about it even more is that with these tweaks, you'll make so much actual cash flow from the hotel because the hotel has more levers to pull than a
regular short-term rental.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So many more levers. And I could get into more like early check-in fee, late checkout fee. That's easy, $30. People are always down to do that. But also pet fees. Like all these hotels that we're buying, here on the West Coast, like most cities in America, pets are becoming more and more relevant. People travel
There
with
was
their
a
dogs.
dog in the gym.
Yeah.
I was staying in LA. There's a dog in the gym, and there were 3 dogs on my hotel floor in San Diego. I think it's a big West Coast thing.
It
That
is.
people are bringing their dogs everywhere. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
see this that much in Texas, but like everywhere.
Yeah.
So
So we charge a pet fee of $75 per night at our
Nice.
what if the room?
hotels.
That's like
And
a fraction of the room price.
yeah. But that adds up, right? That adds up. And people with pets, I mean, obviously there's more cleanup, there's more wear and tear, but they're happy to pay it because now they get to go travel at a pet friendly hotel. And then that's a lot of extra income and fees that goes to the bottom line. And so there's a bunch of levers to pull in the hotel game. And I'm very bullish on it. But most importantly, because of what's going on in the country. Airbnb is going away, 40 million retiring baby boomers, and they're all selling these hotels. And that's why I'm bullish on it right now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's lean into that a little bit more. Like, well, we talked a little bit about your overall macro approach or view to the space.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at your current portfolio, I think it's north of 95 million or something like that.
Yeah, and that includes the multifamily assets
Okay.
that I have, the Airbnbs,
Okay.
and then the boutique hotels,
Okay.
and all of our partners, investors, that
So
sort of thing.
so if we zoom out 5 years from now, like what are you seeing for your overall portfolio, your strategy? Are you looking to roll it up? Are you looking to exit it to private equity? Like, tell us a little bit about what you're thinking.
Hey guys, we are closing on our 6th boutique hotel. Out of the total 10, I'll be putting in a fund 1. So if you're looking for passive income, tax benefits, and diversification from Wall Street, my company, Summers Capital, is taking advantage of all the tightening Airbnb regs and the 40 million retiring baby boomers. We do everything from sourcing the deals, renovating the properties, and even handling all the day-to-day operations, making it truly hands-off for our investors. If you want to learn more to see if we can help you, go to summerscapital.com/invest to book a free call with my team. Again, that's summerscapital.com/invest to book a free call with my team. Now back to the show. Yeah, absolutely. So as far as exit strategy, so with Fund 1, we're putting 10 boutique hotels in it. I'm gonna close it, and then I'll start Fund 2. But for Fund 1, 10 boutique hotels, we have a 10-year projected time horizon with these assets. Because we're buying these assets in great locations, we're buying good deals, we're renovating these properties, we're doing all the work. I don't want to become a flipper, right? And so instead of selling these assets and becoming a flipper, I want to let time do its thing. I believe that the way to build true long-term wealth in real estate investing is to let time do its thing, let inflation do its thing. And by the way, the Federal Reserve has printed 80% of the money supply since 2020, okay? And so instead of becoming a flipper and selling these assets, I want to refi these assets, not just once during the 10-year hold period, but a couple times during the 10-year hold period, pull money out, and then reap the tax benefits, cash flow the assets, and then sometime by year 10, I want to look to exit. Okay. Now, if there's an opportune time in the cycle, and let's say early, let's say year 7, 8, or 9, for example, I'll look to exit early, but I want the investors to know going in, this is a potential 10-year time horizon. Now, that said, as far as exit strategy, we have two. Number one, all the hotels are individually branded. They all have their own direct booking website. They all have their own Instagram handle. And so we can sell these assets individually to individual buyers one at a time. The other exit strategy, which is going to be the more fruitful exit strategy, is I can portfolio all 10 of the hotels together as a portfolio sale and now go attract institutional capital. Institutional capital is not interested in one of these boutique hotels because it's not enough zeros, it's not enough commas or dollar signs. But as a portfolio of 10 stabilized cash flowing boutique hotels, they will pay up for the economies to scale. They'll pay a lower cap rate and a higher dollar per door for it. And by the way, institutional capital typically has a lower cost of capital than a lot of syndicators, individual buyers. And so that's why they're able to pay up for a portfolio of stabilized cash flowing hotels and economies to scale. So that's kind of what the exit looks like.
Nice. Dope.
I think I'm in the wrong business, man. So I love everything you said about hotel investing. I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me is, I think you said Airbnb market up to increase by like 60% in the last few years. I can see it continuing to go that way just because Airbnb owners aren't serious owners. When you buy a hotel, you're serious about the experience that you're providing to people. People are buying Airbnbs and giving people, bad experiences, which made us lean back into hotel stays. So I think the future can be really bright. And what I love about the seller financing is that it doesn't have to be that much money out of pocket. And with these baby boomers, and I don't want people to think just to gloss over this. You said something that's so key. If 25% of the people that own hotels are baby boomers and they're about to retire, they don't want a big lump sum investment because that's one, going to create a large tax bill, and two, is going to make their retirement even more uncertain. What they would rather have is steady cash flow and a low tax bill. So I think that for anybody that thought this was out of realm of possibility, I think there'll actually be more seller finance deals with these people than traditional bank deals because it just won't make any sense for them to take a lump sum of cash, which means that we can get in for pennies on the dollar. And if you double the cash flow overnight, you literally are getting their own asset to pay them back.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
100%.
It's crazy.
Yes, 100%. Like we took the revenue on the Black Sands Inn, the seller, mom and pop seller, they financed 70% of that purchase. We bought it for 1.5 and some change. We took the revenue. They never exceeded 180K. And I remember meeting up with them at the property and they're like, man, a good month for us is 20K. And in July, we do 20K, peak summer. And I'm like, dude, we took the 20K to 80K in July. The revenue from 180 to almost 600. We bought the asset for 1.5 and some change. It appraised 12 months later. We got an appraisal of 4.5 and some change. We tripled the value, right? And so that's what's possible in the hotel game. And that was the first one I did. And that's when I said, okay, we're going all in on this model. But mainly because of all these levers I'm alluding to, but big picture, what's kind of shifting right now. And then, by the way, we get to implement AI, tech, influencer stays, and all that sort of thing. And don't get it twisted. If you're listening to this right now and you're like, hey man, like it's a passive thing getting into hotels, it's not passive. If you're busy and you're a business owner right now and you're doing good in your business, that is going to be the highest and best use of your time. Getting into the hotel game is not passive. It's very active, it's very hands-on, and you got to put all your attention into it in order to really do good. And so don't get it twisted that you're just going to buy a hotel and like sit back and like watch.
Unless you have an
It's
operator
not
that you
like
can put
that.
in place to
Yes,
run
you
it.
got to actually put in effort, put in
Yeah.
time and all that sort of thing. You can go use third-party management, that sort of thing. You can, but you still have to. It's a lot more active than these other real estate asset classes. But to your point, Carter, if you're looking for seller financing opportunity right now in the boutique hotel game, out of all these asset classes in commercial real estate, self-storage, mobile home parks, multifamily, office, retail, hotel is going to be the most prevalent and the easiest to secure seller financing.
Because you get the benefit of the concept of multifamily, but the cash flow of short-term rental, it's a genius business model. We talked a lot about some of the pros and the highlights and the opportunity in the market. What are some of the risks and how are you hedging against those risks?
The biggest risk is getting into a project that needs a heavy renovation, a full renovation, and you running out of money, okay? Because when we shut down these hotels to do a renovation, you're shutting down these hotels for 2 months, 3 months, sometimes even 6 or 7 months to do a full renovation. And there's no income coming in, but you still have fixed costs going out, your mortgage payment, property taxes, insurance. And then if you don't have the proper money set aside for the renovation, Contractors can disappear on you. They can go over timeline. There's a lot of change orders that once you start peeling back the walls, you don't know what you got into. And so these things can go over budget very quickly. And so if you don't have enough money to get through the renovation, or if you didn't hire the wrong contract or didn't hire the right contractor, all of a sudden this person disappears on you, you can run out of money very quickly. And that's the biggest risk to the hotel deals. And so to mitigate that, I think I always say you want to underwrite for 20 to 25% contingency capital. So whatever you think your renovation and the FF&E is going to cost, 20 to 25% in reserves for that. If you don't need to use it once you get through the project, great. But it's good business practice to always have reserves to get you through change orders, extended timelines, and that sort of thing.
Got it. And I had another question for you. It escaped me. So with your community, do you guys help them like source deals and find opportunities?
We teach them how to source deals. Yeah, we teach them how to source deals. We also do one call a month, which is really cool. So we do weekly calls, and we have coaches that do the underwriting calls, how to use our analyzer and all that sort of stuff. But I host one call a month. It's cool. We call it the hotel owners call. And so I'll bring all the owners into this one call in our community, and we'll do a roundtable. I'll lead this roundtable discussion. We'll say, all right, what's working, not working for you today? Let's talk about marketing. And people go around and they'll talk about, hey, this is working really well. We tried this strategy. This is working really well, or this is not working well for us right now, but this is. Okay, how about operations? How are you guys saving on costs right now with supplies, housekeeper stuff? And we'll just go around the room. And that call right there is so beneficial, even for the people that don't own a hotel yet in our community, for them to go in there and learn real time from experienced hotel owners of what's working and not working is big. It's big time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mastermind, essentially. Like, we know how we got to where we are in business, finding people around you doing the same thing and getting those hacks. Because I can only imagine how long it would have took me to think about something as simple as a $40 resort fee or a $75 pet fee. And that's why you want to get in rooms with like-minded people so that you can get those results. So one of the things that we love to ask, because our show is the Melanin Money Show, what does being a melanin millionaire mean to you, whether it's philosophical or just financial? Like, what does it mean to be that millionaire for the people around you?
Yeah. I always say like your true riches in life is health, wellness, and really time. I think those are the true riches in life. And I think having money allows you to buy your time back, invest into your health, and also help a lot of people. And so for me, it's not, a money thing. It's really a mindset thing, and it's a health and wellness type of thing, and also having the time, because at the end of the day, time's the only asset that we have, that we don't know how much time is left. I always say months is the best way to measure time, not years. And so average life expectancy for a male in the US right now is 77. I'm 40. So if you do the math, I have about 430 something months left until I hit that age. And that's going to go by like that. And so, I think having money and building businesses, investing in real estate allows you to get your time back, so you can be more intentional with how you spend your time. But also with that, you can help a lot of others become their best version of themselves.
Love that, man. You've given the people, again, a master class in this. And my question to you is, I know people are going to ask us, how can we tap in with this guy? How can we find him? So if you could just share with our listeners really quick, like how they can just get plugged into some of the amazing things you have going on. How can they find you?
Yeah, for sure. So everything's on Instagram at Rich_Summers. That's SOMERS. If you're interested in investing, you can get on our investor wait list, jump on a call with my team. That's summerscapital.com/invest. And if you're interested in doing this actively, learning about the hotel community, you can jump on a call with my team by going to hotelinvesting.com.
I never gonna forget that. I ain't never gonna forget that.
That's an asset right there.
Yeah.
Well, man, we appreciate you letting us come on your home turf and interview us for our show. I know our listeners are tremendously blessed by the gems that you drop. Keep killing it, keep crushing it, and we'll see all the boutique hotels that you keep buying up.
Yeah, George, Carter, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. And it's truly just the beginning.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
One last question. If we were to pick one of your boutique hotels to stay at that you just absolutely love, which one would you send us to?
Yeah. Hotel Dega.
Hotel Dega.
Hotel Dega up in Bodega Bay, Northern California. This is an hour north of San Francisco. 44 rooms right on the water there in Bodega Bay. All 44 rooms have bay views. We just completed a $2.2 million renovation. The reviews are piling in. We're getting we're averaging 10 5-star reviews on Google every single week since we completed the renovation recently. So go out there, check it out. It's gorgeous. If you are married or you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, I know Carter's looking for a girlfriend himself. We gotta hook this man up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you got a spouse, you got a partner, it's a great couples getaway and a great little, weekend getaway there. So check it out, hoteldega.com.
Awesome. Love it.
Yep.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Till
appreciate
next
you guys.
time.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Peace.